Hands together for the father of the bride. Dale, round of applause, please.
Well, hi everybody, my name's Dale, I'm the father of the bride. Thank you, Mr. Etherington. I'd like to thank everybody for coming. I'd like to thank Rob and Jane for coming along. It's really great. I'd like to welcome David into the family. I'd like to thank all my relatives for coming. Jane, Uncle George, Auntie Pat, the little fella, Bradley, David. And it's really appreciated. Obviously, we got relatives coming from Venezuela, New Jersey, and Brazil. So it's very, very nice. I've got to say this, even though I come across as a bit noisy, I'm not really used to public speaking. The reason I say that, after 14, 15 years living with 3 Latinos, it's very, very difficult to either A, get a word in, because they don't, and secondly, they don't listen to anything I say anyway. So for 15 years, I've had just Spanish dialogue thrown at me. I've never been able to say anything, and never been able to be understood. So I'm giving it my best shot here, so you'll just have to bear with me. There's 3 things in my life that have made me speechless and that have impressed me. Okay? The first thing that impressed me and made me speechless was meeting my glamorous wife, Maura Martinez, who's standing to... which is the truth. The second thing that's really impressed us and made me speechless was seeing my glamorous daughter today, dressed in the most beautiful dress I've probably ever seen, and she looks absolutely glamorous. I'd just like to say that if I can be a bit coarse here, David, as much as I like him, I think he's got the full package there, if I can say that, because she is a stunner. And I've got to say that because I've dealt with other suitors in the past, and I was really advocating capital punishment, restitution of the death penalty, and I dealt with them in my various ways, which Maura and Maura Lynn, I've even been arrested over it. But of course, as Brad will tell you, it's not an offence to have an offensive weapon in your own house, so I got away with it. But that's what's happened in the past, and I regret nothing. I got away with it, Brad, so there you go. I don't know if many of you know this, but when I first met Maura, I'd been working 23 hours at Notting Hill Police Station, and I went into a Latino dancing nightclub with some friends of mine. Chief Superintendent, I used to be an ex-police officer, by the way, and well, I know that, Brad. You'd have to be really sharp to suss that. And the Chief Superintendent had made me CID Licence and Liaison Officer, which was probably the biggest mistake he ever made in his life. Because I went in this Latino drinking club after 12 o'clock at night, and his licence expired at 11:30. And of course, he questioned my integrity. He tried to give me bribes, drinks. Well, I've got to be honest, I broke. And he sent over numerous Jack Daniels and Cokes and things like that. And then I saw Maura sitting with some friends, so I thought I'd extend his hospitality even further by ordering the most expensive wine on the menu. All at his cost. Yes, it's called corruption, okay? But I don't hide it. And I sent all the wine over to Maura's table, and the rest's history. But I'd just like to say this, that when I met Maura, she had 3 jobs. She couldn't speak English. Our courtship was going from colleges, learning IT, business studies, and English. And this work ethic, I'll get the word out, is rubbed off on her daughters, because I've got Andrina, who I'm very, very proud of, who's a graduate entry in the Metropolitan Police, and she's going to go very far. And I just put my mother in here, the late Charlotte, who passed away at Christmas, who always said to me that Maura Lynn will sail through life, and she will. That's what Charlotte said. She will sail through life, she knows what she wants, and she'll get it. And of course, she always said David was a really nice guy, and my mother wasn't a bad judge of people, so I hope she's up there looking down and wishing everything was right. And it's a big regret she's not here, but that's the way it is. But getting on to the work ethic, like I say, this has been passed on to Maura Lynn, who's a social worker, She went to Brunel University, got a degree. She's done very, very well. Andrea got a degree. And all we've got to wait for is little Adam to go along and get a degree, which will happen, won't it, Adam? And of course, getting back to families, I mean, I'm a firm believer in family. As there's a gentleman in here called Mr. Keith Etherington, who's been my mechanic. I know that sounds a bit of a strange thing to bring up, but he's looked after me for 30-odd years. And he told me many years ago when he knew I was getting married, and by the way, Keith Etherington kept me in the Metropolitan Police. I'll be quite honest about that. He made statements which were truthful, and he kept me in the Metropolitan Police, so, you know, I'll stop there now. But he always said to me, when my daughters get cars, he would never take a penny off them, and he never has. He always expects me to pay, which I do. So, Keith, I'd like to say thank you to you because you taught me a great thing about families. Okay. The other thing is about families. There's a scene, I don't know if any of you can remember the film The Godfather. Marlon Brando played the Don Corleone. And in the one famous scene, he ad-libbed it. He went off script and didn't say what he was supposed to say. And the producer and the director had a right go at him, but he was adamant that he threatened to sack the producer and the director if they didn't go with it. When he turned round to what they describe as an out-of-town torpedo, it was somebody who came in and dealt with business, Marlon Brando says to him, "Are you a family man? Do you spend a lot of time with your family?" And the guy didn't reply. And Marlon Brando looked at him and said, "A man who hasn't got his family, he's got nothing." And that was the end of him. But that just goes with the Keith Etherington thing, who taught me two valuable lessons, The Godfather and Keith, about families. And that's all I'll be up for. Now, finally, if there's anybody I've forgotten, which I don't think there is, like I say, I've mentioned Rob and Jane, and a beautiful cake from Ashley, which has been pretty impressive. I've got to be honest with that. And I'd just like to raise a glass and wish a toast. Can anybody think of anything I've forgotten? Speak up now if you ever hold your peace. Oh, apart from welcoming Dave into the family. Yes. You're part of the Wild family now. Nice to see you've taken my name. Hope that doesn't offend anybody. But I'll always look after him. And as long as I've got a breath in me, he'll be all right. And all I'll say is let's have a toast to them, a long and happy marriage, plenty of grandchildren. They have a great time, great marriage, and just enjoy yourselves. Look at me and your mum. We don't give a monkeys, do we? We just do what we like. All right, so all the best. Thank you, thank you. Good health.
So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you very much to the father of the bride. Lovely speech there from Dale. Brings us nicely to our next speaker this evening. Of course, it's the groom who will now respond. Put your hands together for David. A round of applause, please. Thank you.
Thank you. Perfect. Hello, everyone. I hope you're all enjoying yourselves. I think Dale stole half of my speech because mine's a thank you speech, but I think, does that mean I can sit back down? No, guess not.
You were sitting down there. Oh, sorry, sorry.
Okay. I have a lot of thank yous to get through in my speech on behalf of me and my wife. Thank you. I'd like to start just by saying how honoured I feel standing here. It's quite possibly the only time that I'll be allowed to speak on behalf of both of us ever again. This does feel like the perfect start to married life, being surrounded by our closest friends and family. We really appreciate all of your efforts and everything you've done to spend this day with us. Thank you for your well wishes, cards, gifts, support and help. We have been blown away by your generosity, and I know a lot of you have travelled long distances to get here, and we really appreciate it, so thank you. The first toast will go to you, actually, so thank you very much. I would like to thank the bridesmaids, Sharon, Phyllis, Patricia, Elizabeth, wherever you all are, you're all over the place, and the maid of honour, Andrea. Thank you for everything you've done leading up to and including today. And thank you, Sharon and Phyllis. I think we popped round your house the other day and saw you doing arts and crafts that we sort of walked in on you doing. So thank you for all the confetti and things you'll be doing behind the scenes. And thank you for looking after Marilyn and making sure she gets to the aisle. Okay. So a toast for the bridesmaids, please. Thank you. I'm going to be drunk by the end of the speech, I think. And to the ushers, Ashley Eisted, Ross, Adam, Charlie, and my best man and brother, Ashley. Thank you for everything you've done. Thank you for supporting me. You've put a lot of effort into today, and you've done a lot of organising. And thank you, Ashley, for organising my stag do, although I still do bear some physical scars from it, but I'm recovering. Thank you. I will do a toast for the ushers. I've done one for the bridesmaids. So to both Ashleys, Charlie, Ross, and Adam, thank you very much. I think I should stop toasting after that one. I'd also like to take this time